Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 119, and yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. I want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 118 was Wrestle Kingdom 13 and All Elite Wrestling. We covered the full Wrestle Kingdom card and also discussed the birth of All Elite Wrestling, which kicked off on January 1st. This time we have a free day, folks. As you know, the show was not supposed to happen today, but things changed and we're here. So let's have fun with this, okay? How's everyone doing today? How is everybody doing out there in Facebook land? We're going to keep today's show. Thank you, Keith. Hope you had a good New Year as well. What's up, Ray? Let's see. What's up? Christopher, what's up, my friend? So we're going to keep the format of today's episode a little loose, loosey-goosey as it were. Keep us free-flowing and keep us sort of, sort of laid back, that kind of thing. Usually I have an agenda for the episode. I don't really have one this time. We're just going to play it by ear and see where the episode takes us, okay? So, let's see. Chris, what's up? Yep, Performance Center, we're going to cover that as well. Let's go ahead and do this, man, okay? Sound good? So this time out, the main event is open forum and Q&A. That's right, folks. It's anything you guys want to talk about. I'm all ears. I'm all headphones, as it were. It's whatever you guys want to hit on, touch upon. Let's do this and let's have fun with it, okay? Throw me some good stuff now. Not the typical questions I get every single week. It's okay, I guess, but throw me some different stuff too. Tanisha, because I love your name, you get to go first, okay? Kenny Omega, all the scuttlebutt around online right now is Kenny Omega. Will he or will he not show up at the Royal Rumble, perhaps? Kenny Omega is contracted with New Japan, to my understanding, through January 31st. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He can't debut at the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble is on January 27th. That's not to say that he won't show up after the fact, but the rumors right now are that he is signed with All Elite Wrestling. I don't know if that's true or not. He has yet to tell anybody. He said that he's leaving New Japan, but he said this in 2016, beginning 2017, and he didn't leave, okay? So, I don't know. I take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure what his plan is. I'm sure he'll go wherever's best for his career. Would I like to see him in WWE? Okay, I guess. I don't know how well he would fit in, right? But as you hear the truck outside, my apologies. But yeah, I'm interested to see where he goes. Dean asks, EC3 at the Royal Rumble. Very interesting. They're all finishing up with NXT right now, to my knowledge. Nikki Cross is finished up. I know EC3 gave sort of a farewell speech. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he showed up. I think that would be fine. I'm all for it. Keith says, what do you think WWE is going to do with Matt Hardy? I don't know if they're doing anything with Matt Hardy. I think Matt's just being allowed to enjoy his time out of the ring. Guy's earned it. He's busted his back for years in this business, entertaining you and me and the whole world full of people. And I think he's pretty happy doing what he's doing. Now, something happened this past week because the buzz is all about All Elite Wrestling right now, right? Someone tweeted online something to the effect of, I'd love to see the Hardy Boys versus the Young Bucks in All Elite Wrestling. Rebby Hardy, Matt's wife, merely said, like that with question marks. So we'll see. Like as if she was pondering the implication of it all. I don't know if that even means anything. I don't know. But all the speculation right now is who's going to start with AEW. Chris says, what do you think of WWE superstars in WWE locker room? Think of Elite Wrestling. Which superstar? I believe that the guys in WWE locker room, and I'm just throwing this out there to you, Chris. Thanks for the question. I believe that the men and women in WWE's locker room are all for it. That they're all sitting back looking at All Elite Wrestling saying, man, you guys go, man, do this. Make it happen. You have to think that they think it's cool. More companies equals different flavors, equals more places, more opportunities for men and women to work, to ply their craft. And that's a good thing for the business. It's a great thing for the business. I don't see a whole lot of negatives in this. There are some negatives. We can cover those if you want to at some point here. But I think the positives at this point outweigh the negatives, in my humble opinion. Keith says Royal Rumble's on his birthday. Get in. That's nice. Wade says, your thoughts of Hangman versus Pocket Double or Nothing. I'm all for it. I'm a fan of both guys. Wade, and supposedly WWE threw a very generous offer at Hangman Page, and he politely turned it down. So he's decided what his future is. And look at Wade. Hangman Page is still young. He's got a lot of time left. If the All Elite thing doesn't work out, he could always change his mind. I don't think WWE is going to close the door on him or anyone else for that matter. It's my opinion. Miss Lopez, how are you? Miss Lopez says, what do you think of Jericho and AEW? I love it. David says that. Well, hello, Tammy in Kentucky. AEW rally was a little hokey, to be honest with you, Steven, but I'm okay with it. It got the point across. The fans loved it, so that's what matters. I love Jericho and AEW. Jericho's done it all. Supposedly WWE had an offer to him as well. Jericho politely turned it down as well. The day after, WWE removed him from the opening signature of its programming and moved his profile to the alumni page on WWE.com. So WWE done got their feelings hurt, yo, but it's okay. Jericho's a grown man, can do what he wants when he wants to do it. He has put his time in with that company, bled, sweat, and paid the price, as Ric Flair would say. More than put his time in for Vince McMahon. So I think he's free to do whatever he wants, and obviously he's chosen his path. Let's see, will they bring Brother Nero's segment to WWE? Choche, I love that idea. That would keep sort of Matt involved, yes, without ever actually putting him back on TV if they doesn't want to. Impact staying together, AEW starting. Michael, right? So I've not heard anything about Impact shutting down. There was an offer on the table for, what was it, AEW to buy Impact, is the rumor going around. But AEW wanted to start from the ground up. They didn't want to buy anything. They wanted to start fresh. Does Cody run that? Cody is an executive producer, executive vice president of AEW, as well as Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, yes. Jim says Jericho gives AEW some legitimacy. I 100% agree with that. Craig says WWE is running out of time to keep all the wrestlers happy. Possibly. You might have a point there. I can't really argue that too much. Let's see. Tammy says she misses Roman Reigns' big dog. A lot of people are in the same boat you're in, Tammy. And again, as we always say on the program, all the best to Roman. Not just Roman, but his family who are going through this with him, okay? And also to his fans. We want to see him back soon as well. Wade says, I personally see in the future because of Jericho's relationship with Vince, they could do a joint show. The landscape is changing in wrestling. There's some hurt feelings right now in WWE, Wade. I don't know if it's like that bad, to your point. People can get over themselves, surely. But you start, muscling on Vince McMahon's pocketbook, you're starting to insult the guy a little bit, which I don't think, I'm sure that wasn't Jericho's intention. Jericho's just doing what's best for Jericho, right? As he should, right? But it's interesting to see what happens. Riaz says, CM Punk update. Riaz, I have nothing for you, my friend. Punk is still out of pro wrestling business. Rumors abound that he will go to AEW. Of course, there's rumors abounding that I'm going to AEW, and probably you are too. So there's no telling what's going to happen right now. Miranda, what's up? What do you think about the issues between Naomi and Mandy Rose? I think it's sort of an odd storyline because, is it Jay or Jimmy? I hate to say it, but I get them confused. Is it it's Jimmy Uso that Naomi's husband? Someone tell me. He shows no interest in this at all. You know what I mean? And Mandy's a heel. It's fine. At least it's something to spice it up. But, WWE insists on going down the typical male and female storyline crap. I don't know. It's weird. Let's see. Steven said Jericho's cutting edge. Vince should get it. I agree with that totally. Thank you, Jim. It's Jimmy Uso. Thank you, Chris. Sweet. Mark said, oh, hey, thanks. So, it's a quick story behind the 316. Tom 316 says, I just did a podcast. I don't know if I'm going to make that shirt. It's pretty good, right? No? Okay. So this shirt's an XL, and I'm back now in XL. I'm pretty freaking happy about that. I'm 46 pounds down now and counting. Still working on it. Lost 2 more pounds this week. So, XL, baby. And hopefully one day down to an L. L's no longer for loser, just so you know. Joe says, is Billy Gunn going to be a huge part of AEW like Road Dogg is with WWE? I don't know. I don't know if are you making that comparison because they're former tag team partners? I mean, I guess you could. I don't know about that. For all intents and purposes, everything I've ever read or heard about Billy is that he's really smart behind the scenes, for real. So, if he's getting involved as a producer, supposedly he's the first producer that they've hired publicly. So we'll see what happens. There's nothing wrong with putting wrestling minds backstage. You have to have that. You got to have some TV side of it as well, obviously, which we can talk about later if you want. But you have to have some wrestling people behind the scenes as well to know what they're doing. Jenna, hey, maybe I will. I never know. Why are Raw's ratings so low? Eric just asked the billion-dollar question. I think people are burned out, and I think that, honestly, people have, Eric, to your point, I think that people have other things to do. Summertime's a busy time for folks, but wintertime is as well. You're going in and out of the holidays, cold outside, man. It's like 9 degrees here, some nonsense. It's freaking, Arctic weather out there, it seems. I don't know how many people are cuddling around the warm television at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Monday nights. I don't know. And I mean, there's Monday Night Football to contend with. There's other things on TV to watch. There's things like that to keep in mind. And plus, as I said, I think the product is becoming stale. I don't think it's enough to destroy it, but I think it's enough that people are starting to turn the channel. Russell says, why did WWE quit on the storyline of Ronda and Becky? Nothing stopped. They are prolonging it as long as they can to get the main event of WrestleMania 35, which probably is going to be a triple threat between Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. That's what I believe. So, Steven says, Raw equals too vanilla, no edginess in the characters. I'll buy that. Lloyd says, just too much exposure now. You could be right about that as well. Matthew says, what's going on with WWE and AEW? Boy, Matthew just asked a huge question, huh? All kinds of stuff, Matt. All kinds of stuff. We're going to be talking about AEW on this show probably for the rest of this year, and I'm hopefully beyond as well. David says, Daniel Bryan is horrible as a heel. David, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. He's growing on me. I think he's making the best of what he has, and he can't be the vicious heel. See, here's the thing. Daniel Bryan is a smaller guy. No disrespect. But I don't think Daniel Bryan would do well with Pac's, king of the cruiserweights. I don't think he would, you know what I mean? Vicious and cold-blooded and mean and nasty and sort of, espionage film type of Bond villain, whatever. I don't think that's Daniel. But so for Daniel to be a heel, he's got to go with quirky because that's who he is. And a quirky heel for Daniel Bryan is, you people don't care about the environment. You're wasting its resources. You're bad people. Bad, fickle. They really don't. What else do they have? To be honest, what else do they have? I think it works. I'm not unhappy with it at all. Lloyd says, finally, The Rock has come back to wrestling rumors. The Rock? What? Where? Who? Andrew says, how come we won't watch AEW? Keep checking out YouTube and Twitter and Instagram right now, man. That's all you got. That's all you got because AEW does not have a TV deal. Now, the news of Jericho's signing, supposedly, Jericho has made the comment that he would never have signed with AEW if he didn't know there was a good TV deal on the table. And according to him, there's a couple of different TV deals on the table. So we'll see what happens. We all assumed it was going to be toward the end of 2019. This thing could happen as early as the next 6 months, maybe in June or July, perhaps earlier. I don't know. We'll see. Going to be interesting to see. Is WWE trying to buy TNA? No, Matthew, not that I know of. Let's see. Ryan says, why does WWE keep running with Brock Lesnar? Again, Ryan, $1 million question, man. It's who they got. It's who they believe in. It's, what can I say? He's their top attraction. He's their money-making guy. Comes in for the big payday and then takes off for another 2 months. It's what he does. They are very high on him. It is what it is, man. People get upset at Brock, which is really silly because it's WWE that's booking him, not Brock booking himself. It's a mess. It can be anyway. Chris says he's down to 216. Proud of it. Plan on keep losing weight. Good for you, man. Wow, man. Chris there's a lot to unpack there, Chris. Hey, man, congrats, man, to you as well. Well done, man. Keep up the good work. It's not the easiest thing in the world. If you grew up thin and you're still thin and you're probably going to die thin, hopefully a long time from now, you have no idea what it's like to struggle with weight issues. It's huge. I've had it my whole life. This is my second go around with losing a whole bunch of weight. And I plan on keeping it off this time. I've just come too far, and I plan on going much farther than to put that crap back on. No McDonald's, folks. McDonald's is not an official sponsor of Tom Clark's Main Event. You better believe that, okay? Okay, so Jason says, I agree 100%. I never liked him. I can't stand him, either his face or heel. Actually, I gave him the nickname. Okay. So he agrees with the fact that Daniel is not the best heel. So Jim says, do you see the same bad trends WCW did in the late 90s that WWE is doing now? Jim, I think it's easy to throw those comparisons at WWE. I don't think I see it. You have to remember that's apples and oranges, to be honest with you. WCW was just atrocious. It was a mess toward the end. You know, too many Indians, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians maybe, or the Indians were running the show. Not to be politically incorrect on you, my apologies, but you get what I'm saying, right? Too much creative control by too many of the boys. They were running the show. Bischoff had lost control of the thing. You know, one of the big things, and I interviewed Matt Hardy several years ago, one of the big things that the key differences between TNA and WWE at the time, because that's when Matt was in TNA, one of the key things he told me was the biggest difference was that in WWE there's one boss. In TNA there's 5 or 6 bosses behind the curtain. And that's a big difference. There's one guy to say yes or no. One guy, and that's it. The buck stops with him, which I think has made all the difference over the years. Steven says, what do you think of... Talking about Seth Rollins? I'm not digging the heel turn. Or Dean Ambrose, yeah. A lot of people say they're not digging the heel turn, man. I don't know. Interesting. I think in hindsight being 2020, it was a mistake. That's my opinion. Jenna says, I have weight issues. I'm in a wheelchair and I don't snack during the day. Yeah, Jenna knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure more so than I know, for sure. Let's see. See, Tanisha says John enters in the Royal Rumble. You're right, Tanisha. He enters in the Royal Rumble. I don't think John's going to win it. People keep asking me who's going to win. I don't have any idea. I want to be surprised. I'd like to see Seth win it. I still want to see Seth and Brock. When it became obvious after AJ dropped the title we were not going to get to see Finn Balor versus AJ for the WWE Championship, then I decided, okay, the next match I really care about is Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, because I think Seth will be the guy to pin him. But that's me talking. I don't know if that's true or not. Mark says he's not big on Dean. I think his character has always been boring. He isn't crazy enough to sell his character. Interesting. Let's see. Lance says Nia and Becky last 2. What do you think? I'm for that. And then Becky breaks her face. They got stuck on that for a long time, didn't they? Let me just tell you this without soapboxing too much. Nia Jax, it's tough. It's rough. She is. I said on Twitter, because it was last Monday, she came out running her mouth and trying to be all snarky and stuff toward Ronda and Sasha. And I'm like, you know, she is the least effective heel in that company right now. Can you agree with that? Nia Jax is the least effective heel in WWE today, and no one cares. Not only does no one care, no one is threatened, because Nia makes these threats and she bullies her way around backstage, and she can't make good on any of it. I know a lot of it's not her, but some of it is her, because she can't get it done in the ring. It's my opinion. I think her work is really, really bad. My opinion. As far as her being unsafe, is she hurting people on purpose? I don't believe that. But I do believe that she's had more than enough time to get used to this, more than enough time to get accustomed to how things should be in the ring in WWE. And I just don't think it's sticking. I don't think it's working. That's just me talking. Miss Lopez says Nia hurt Sasha. True. Very true. Hashir, how are you, my friend? Let's see. Eric says I make stupid comments this whole cast, but I am one of the 95 still watching. Thanks, Eric. What's that mean? I should be thankful that you're making all kinds of crazy comments. I mean, thanks for hanging around. You know, I appreciate it. So, okay. By the way, if you have a serious thing you want to talk about, let's hit me with it, man. I'm all ears, okay? Frank says Batista should win the Rumble. I don't know how I feel about that, man, because I think we were looking at Batista versus Triple H, but then Triple H had torn pec, had to have surgery. I don't think he's going to be in position to work at WrestleMania, but I could be wrong. It could still be Batista Hunter somehow. Batista just signed to a new flick. What movie is it that Batista is going to? Dune, right? So I don't know when that begins. So that may directly affect WrestleMania 35. So Brandon says who's going to be a surprise entrant in the Rumble. To my knowledge, there's only like 19 guys announced. Yeah, 19 or 20. There's room to maneuver. I don't know. It seems like every year we debate and speculate upon who's going to be the surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, and then we kind of get disappointed at the end. There's not a whole lot of surprises happening. Maybe we'll be wrong this time. I don't know. Did AJ Styles sign a WWE contract yet? I think AEW would be great for him if they let him spend more time with his family. So, you have to believe AEW would be an easier schedule, but he already has an easier schedule with WWE because he asked for it and he got it. His contract is up this year, to my knowledge, but I don't know how soon. They love him. He's friends with those guys. They're all tight, I believe. So, could I see it happening? Sure, but he's making a ton of money right now. Could he make a ton of money with AEW? I'm sure he could. But, he's in the company that he thought he would never work for. Now, will the time come when AJ goes, this has been fun, but it's no longer, like, I feel like I've done it here. I want to move on and do something else. Maybe. He's a competitor, man. He always wants to keep himself fresh, so we'll see. Mark says, if Rollins winning the Rumble, it's his time to defeat whoever at WrestleMania, probably Brock. Mark's calling it. There you go. Let's see. Tom Clark. I'll be there, brother. I was having a conversation with a friend this week about pro wrestling tropes in promos, and I said one of the biggest tropes is, let me tell you something, or let me tell you this, or let me tell you this thing, or what is it that pro wrestlers always say in promos? Listen here. It's always, let me tell you something. You listen to me. What is it? There's several. And now I'm blanking. I'm having a brain freeze here, folks. My apologies. But yeah, that's funny. Just go out and cut a promo. The first time I cut a promo in front of a pro wrestling crowd, there was about pushing 100 people in the crowd my first night. And I had to cut a promo. And I rehearsed that sucker for like 5 days straight. Had it written on a piece of paper, rehearsed in front of a mirror and the whole nine. Watching it back on tape later, I'm like, oh, it wasn't too bad. But I'm like, yeah, but I rehearsed it like 5 days straight. It was crazy. Rebecca says, is Lana pregnant or what? I don't know. Maybe. Was it Rusev said something funny on one of his social media accounts about happiest? He's something. Maybe so. You could be right. Is Undertaker done after this coming up Mania? Brandon, I would say maybe Taker's done now. I don't know for sure or not. Maybe. I don't know. I would hope so. I think it's time. Chris says, I hope Braun Strowman wins soon. So tired of Lesnar. Even my 7-year-old hates how he's never there. So I wrote a piece for the Chairshot, which will be published probably tomorrow or Sunday, as usual. And I said, Braun Strowman is not the answer to Brock Lesnar. I have tapped out. I have officially tapped out. And it's no disrespect to Braun. He will still be there. They don't care what I have to say, okay, folks? Just one guy's opinion, all right? But I've officially tapped out. Braun's Carolina boy. I respect that for sure. But it's not happening. You saw where he lost his place on Raw during the promo. It was atrocious. It was really hard to watch. They've edited the crap out of that for their YouTube channel. I know everyone can have an off night. I get that. But when you're on the worldwide stage in that spot talking to Brock Lesnar, you need to step your game up. You know what I mean? And there's been too many moments in the ring of him looking rough. And, I love Braun. It's nothing personal. I don't want them to sweep him under the rug. But I see now that Braun Strowman is the fill-in challenger. He is not the main event powerhouse that I and a whole lot of other people, maybe you too, thought he was going to be. I just don't see it. I think he's fill-in. I think he's a spoiler. He was a spoiler for Roman Reigns. He's a spoiler for Brock Lesnar. He's the guy that's the speed bump on the champion's path of I'm the best in this company. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know if he's anything more than that. That's just me talking. Okay, Mark says, all right, pal. All right, Chief. What do you think Becky Lynch to push for Intercontinental U.S. belt like China did? No, I don't agree with that. I don't think she should be wrestling men. I disagree with the idea of men wrestling women. And before you call me a sexist pig, please hear me out. In my humble opinion, if a woman has to make her point, and to me, flip the script, okay? I think it's incredibly sexist to suggest that a woman proves her toughness by working a man. Oh, okay, let me get this straight. So she needed a man to prove how tough she was? You see what I'm saying? I don't see that, and I don't buy it. I don't buy in. I think the way the women make their voices heard and make their presence known is by having the best match on the card, which they often do. And they show up the two men working each other. That to me is a statement. That's a huge statement. I don't think the women need to work the men at this point. I just don't think it's necessary. Would some of the men like to work the women? Yeah, I would say probably so, right? Because they don't have any spotlight on them. I'm just saying. But I don't agree with it. I don't think I want it. Okay, let's see. Andrew says, plot twist, Heyman turns on Lesnar for the second time and aligns himself with Strowman. They've teased that before. He's done it before. It didn't work out. Andrew, I'm not dismissing you, my friend. I just don't know if I'm feeling that, to be honest. Do you think they should bring back the European Championship? I was going to say yes, but they have the NXT UK title. I don't know if they need to do that now. Just my opinion. Let's see. AJ says, what did you think of Hogan's tribute to Mean Gene? So, Hogan. Hui. All right. I would love to sit here and tell you that everything Hogan said was from the heart. He did have tears in his eyes. He took his glasses off to make sure that you could see he had tears in his eyes. And I would hope that it's 100% from the heart. But I will also tell you this, that he is a salesman. He sells himself, as every pro wrestler and pro wrestling personality is supposed to do. You have to sell yourself in order to make a living, okay? That's what you do. You promote yourself. You sell yourself to the audience. I don't fault him for that. I don't fault him for being in Hulk Hogan mode, okay? But had he come out without his gimmick on, without the red, without the do-rag, if he'd come out in a regular shirt, no shades and all that crap, and said, my name is Terry Bollea, and I want you to know that were it not for Mean Gene Okerlund, Terry Bollea would never have been Hulk Hogan. That would have made more an impact on me personally. It is what it is. You can't hit rewind. You can't change it. Whatever, okay? Again, I'd like to tell you I think that it was all 100% from the heart. I don't know if I believe that. Having said that, it was the right thing to do for the company, because if anybody was going to speak about Gene, it had to have been Hogan. So, let's see. Joe says, why is Nakamura being slated less and less? And congrats, Rusev and Lana. So, the thing about Nakamura, there's rumors about Nakamura going back to New Japan. Here's the key. You and I, and when I say you and I mean everyone listening to the show and everyone watching the show right now live, and we can all sit back all day long and talk about how Nakamura's underutilized. They don't respect him. They're making a joke of him. He was the king of strong style in Japan. He was a killer in Japan, right? Hitman. He was the guy, right? He was dangerous in the ring, or not dangerous, but you know what I'm saying. A killer. He gets to WWE and he's a clown. We can all sit back all day long and talk about that, about how we hate it, about how they've demeaned his character, about how they're disrespecting him and he should leave and go back to New Japan. What's Nakamura think? Is he happy? Is the money right? Is he getting paid what he deserves? What he's earned through his career? Is his family happy? Is he happy? That's really what you have to. You got to deal with that. And trust me, man, I write about this stuff every day in my life, man. I always write about this stuff, about they should do right by this guy and this girl, whatever. And I totally will keep doing that. And I agree with whatever sentiment you want to throw at me about that stuff. I do. But put yourself in his shoes. If he's happy, our outlook on it may not mean anything to him. That's just me talking. Let's see. Naman says, who deserves to win the Royal Rumble the most? Who deserves it? Who deserves it? I don't know if I got one for you. Who do you guys think deserves it? Let me turn the question back on you. What do you guys think? Brandon says Triple H facing Batista at Mania. Again, I don't think Hunter is recovered and in ring shape to perform at Mania, but I could be wrong. It's April. We got time. We'll see. Let's see. Paul says he was a butt kicker in NXT, then switched to stupid rock star gimmick. That was over before it started. I won't argue with that. Mark says Japanese stars are never going to be big stars here in the States. I'm pretty sure I knew where you were going to go with that. Sorry I missed your comment, but I can't necessarily disagree with you, man. You know what I mean? I can't necessarily disagree with you. I can kind of see where you're coming from. And a lot of people have said that over the years too, is that, Japanese stars will not be big stars in WWE for one reason or another, and it's whatever. But I don't know if I feel that way. I think you should take it on case by case comparison. Now, if he spoke perfect English, is that part of the trouble? But then again, Jimmy Wang Yang spoke fine English, and look what they did to him, made him a cowboy. He's an idiot. I don't know. I think everybody in WWE has the potential to get saddled with a stupid gimmick, regardless of their race, creed, color, or sexual orientation. Because WWE just does that stuff. Okay. Steven says Shinsuke was done on his heel turn. Need to face comment was there you go. Steven disagrees. I like a little friction sometimes. Lars Sullivan with a bit of an injury. I heard that as well. Eric, everyone is talking about AEW and wrestlers jumping ship from WWE. Does AEW actually have money to compete with Vince's pocketbook? AEW is owned by the Khan family. Tony Khan is the son of a billionaire, and Tony's a legitimate billionaire himself. They own the Jacksonville Jaguars and a soccer team, the Fulham. What is it? Someone tell me here. Don't make me look it up. I don't follow soccer. They're billionaires. They got the money. But here's my caution to you, and this is what we talked about last week, folks, and I put a column on Chairshot last weekend discussing this very thing. AEW does not have to compete with WWE in order to be successful. When the word competition is huge. The word compete is huge, especially for a company that is as globally entrenched as WWE is, folks, 150% and then some. It's hard to compete with a company that's been going strong since the 60s and has been ruling the professional wrestling world for the past 20 years. It's really hard to get there. And I would say impossible. They're just too firmly entrenched in American pop culture and worldwide pop culture. They're too entrenched globally to ever dethrone, or I just don't see it happening. You know what I mean? Compete in what way? Are we talking, again, we said this last week, in ratings, star power? I don't know. These questions, it's way too early to know the answers to these questions. Not too early to ask. Way too early to know the answers. I still think the word competition is huge. Clay says NXT call-ups. Let's see, Undisputed Era, War Raiders, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Dream, Ciampa. Glad to see EC3 coming on board. A lot of those guys you mentioned, people were shocked that they were not called up this time. Mark says they will compete. It's having a few big names to make people tune in. Yeah, but here's the thing, and to your point, you said you want to see something new. I listened to Jim Cornette's podcast yesterday, and believe it or not, Cornette is not slamming AEW at all. He's taking a wait-and-see sort of attitude, as we all are. But one of the things he said was that AEW must decide who they are. Because if you do the comedy, haha, laugh 'em up wrestling, that's not going to sell to a network. The network wants to see drama. They want to see action. Fox isn't the only one saying we want sports-oriented stuff. I mean, pro wrestling is not supposed to be a comedy show. Newsflash, people, it's not supposed to be. So, to Jim's point, AEW has to decide who they're going to be. And if they're going to be different, how are they going to be different? You're still putting the thing in a 20 by 20 ring. I don't know how ring's going to be, by the way. 18 by 18, 16, I don't know. Just making you a point here, WWE ring, right? But you're still putting the action in a wrestling ring. How are you going to make it different? I don't know. Claire says, finally finish work and get to listen to this on the way home. Claire, what's up? Everyone say hello to Claire. She can't hear you, but she can read it later. At least wave at her. She can see the little hand shaking. Hey, Claire, what's up? Claire. Well, how do I know that name, Claire? Claire Huxtable, right? The Cosby Show. You don't want to talk about Cosby these days, man. That's a terrible thing to talk about. I'm just saying. Oh, how about Claire from the Netflix Marvel TV shows? Yeah, the Night Nurse. There you go. Great reference. So John says, I'm excited AEW is coming. Real competing makes sense. So again, the word competition, it's a huge thing. Huge. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Danny says WWE is just too crowded. There are numerous stars. And we said this before, Dan, in last week and probably in the weeks prior to that. WWE's collecting superstars. They're collecting wrestlers. That's what they're doing. Jason says, I've been saying Charlotte versus Becky versus Ron for WrestleMania 35 for a while. No, this shouldn't be one-on-one. I agree with you. It should be a triple threat. That's what I predicted also. I'm with you 100%. Let's see. AJ says, are you feeling that McMahon's being in charge all the way around now? I don't feel it. Here's the good thing I can say about this deal. They're not on TV the entire 3 hours. Yay! Because I can't stand 5 straight hours every week of the McMahons trying to kill the baby faces and support the heels and all this other hocus pocus nonsense. I just don't care for any of that. So in that regard, I'm okay with it, but the rest of it, I could care less. I don't think you need it. WWE's convinced you do. I, however, am not. Okay? Let's see. Charos says we need clicks again to run wild with this crowded roster. Might as well split off into 100 different factions. They got the bodies for it, don't they? What's WWE doing with Miz and Shane? Hand them a tag title opportunity. Okay, so. So here's the thing. And I'm getting distracted reading the comments here. My apologies. So, what was it we were just talking about? Because I was just reading someone else's. Someone remind me what we were just talking about. Hang on. Oh, Miz and Shane. My apologies. So Miz and Shane. I thought that Miz was baiting him in. Okay, got him on the line. Got a live one, folks. That's what I thought until the night that Shane agreed to be his partner and said, if you screw this up, if you screw with me, there will be huge consequences. That ruined it for me because I thought, well, now you just ruined it because now you kind of told everybody where this is going. I still think it's going to end in a screw job. I think Miz is going to screw him. I think it's the dumbest thing ever for Miz to screw McMahon. Isn't this the stupidest thing you ever heard in your life? When all the McMahons are on the same side right now, but that's where I think it's going. So, what are my chances if Make-A-Wish was to go on a date with John Cena? Oh, that's cute. Lord, are you just trying to be a jerk right now? Make-A-Wish. Are you sick, Lloyd, or are you just trying to be a jerk right now? I'm just asking a question. Because if you have something wrong with you for the Make-A-Wish thing, then all the best to you, my friend. But if you don't, that was kind of a jerk thing to say. Okay, so let's see. But can you tell? Let's see what else. I think Shane is going to screw. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Paul says not feeling, and their main lingo to us is that they need to motivate superstars like Rollins and AJ. Yeah, see, you're right about that. Triple H motivating Seth and stuff, and Seth knocking the coffee out of his hand, and then Vince motivating AJ and AJ slapping him. It is all kind of a bit much. Who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame this year? Keith, I don't have a list for you. We can talk about that. Well, Lloyd says if I want to go into this, Jordan said there's something wrong with me. Folks, I think Lloyd might be a bit of an idiot. I hate the name call. We say that with love and respect, Lloyd. We don't know who you are, you lovable fool, you. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's kind of stupid. So Miz is going to screw Shane. I think we all know that, right? But as far as the Hall of Fame, someone asked about the Hall of Fame. I don't have a list, guys, but I can tell you a few that I would love to see get in. I still am a sucker for the old school NWA guys. I still want to see Wahoo McDaniel get in. I love Wahoo. I still want to see Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express get in. They deserve it. A lot of older NWA guys, I think, deserve the nod to get in. WWE guys as well. There's guys from companies all around the world. Honestly, I don't know, man. Of all the things I make predictions about, usually Hall of Fame is not one of them. I just like to see how it all plays itself out. Sorry, that's kind of a crap answer. It's just how I feel. Let's see. Steven says, what if Shane screwed Miz to put him over? Ooh, interesting. Why not? It's like I do it to you before you do it to me, right? We need female tag team titles so more women come to the main roster. Well, it's going to hang out. It's going to happen. Women are going to hang out. They're going to win tag team titles, and more women are going to come hang out. And women's division WWE, it undergoes the same scrutiny as the men's division does, because you can call up not the right people or too many people or too few people or whatever, and you've got a problem. And I think the women's division is fully capable of going through and enduring some kind of damage from that, just as the men's division can and has in the past. And I know that's sort of an ambiguous answer to throw to you, but that's sort of where my head's at right now, is that in some ways, as much good as they've done with the women's division, I kind of feel like in other ways that they don't really know how to proceed. But I think there needs to be some excitement about women coming up from NXT and being signed from outside companies. To your point, I think it's important that happens to bolster the rosters and to get people excited. But fans are still excited about women's wrestling. It still continues to main event. I mean, if you look back now at the progress they've made to this point, I think they're on track. I don't think they've lost any ground at all. I think they're doing just fine as a women's division in that company. I really do. So I'm good with it right now. See, Jason says, I'm tired of the negative attitudes of people saying wrestlers' careers will go down the drain after they drain the main roster. Is that what you said? I don't, here's the thing. WWE no longer has, is the only company in town. No longer the only game in town, right? And I also tire of the notion that, oh, well, NXT is so much better. It's just so much better. I'm just so tired of hearing that. Like, at this point, I'm not saying that you're right all the time, but at this point, it's like, can you come up with a better statement, a better observation than, well, it's just so much better. Give me something else. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem very inventive anymore. I think one guy said it, and then we all said it. Can we be honest? And not that it's not true. I'm not suggesting that. But yeah, there's part of me that says, God, move on. Find another talking point. It just kind of, it becomes old hat after a while. Victor says we need Bray to return and make another stable and go against Sanity. Yeah, a lot of people have been guessing about that too. So let's see. Naman says, I'm afraid EC3's career will go down the drain. Also, echoing what someone else just said. That's funny. Yeah, no, I don't see that. EC3's made for the main roster. I think he'll be a nice addition on Raw or SmackDown. Let's see. What do you think of UFC people coming to WWE? Jenna, great question. Jenna gets the no prize for this week, folks. It's in the mail. Watch your mailbox, Jenna. So, what do I think? They're legitimate athletes. Let's look at the positives. They're legitimate athletes. They are trained to do much more than be pro wrestlers. They're trained to do much more than pull their punches. They're trained to take someone's head off. Okay. In that regard, they fit in quite nicely but here's the key. Can you adapt your style, MMA style, to the pro wrestling style? Can you pull your punches? Can you be safe? More importantly, do you have any personality? I'm not a big fan of the Four Horsewomen, Shayna Baszler's version. I just am not. I feel like WWE had these two women, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, that they said, oh God, you're no longer contracted to the UFC, and they threw some money at them and they came over. And I think the plan is one day for the Four Horsemen versus the Four Horsewomen. I think that's what they're all about. I'm not feeling it. And kudos to them for getting in the ring and paying their dues, and I hope it works out. But I just don't know how much I'm feeling this. I don't know how high I am on it. To answer your question, it's a cop-out. But I just don't know if I am feeling it at all. Again, all due respect, getting in the ring, paying your dues, learning the craft. I just don't know if it's my cup of tea. You know what I mean? And the notion that a woman has to have the MMA gloves and has to be the fight chick, she has to be the bad chick. You don't have to be that stuff. You know what I mean? Flavors, spices. It's a variety of life, man. Just like the men's division, not everyone can be Stone Cold. Not everyone can be bald and with a black t-shirt. People have got to do different stuff. You need different flavors. And I think the women's division has got to go with different flavors. Jenna says they get too much of a push. I'll agree with that. Is it true Ronda's leaving WWE this year? Craig, I've not heard that. I'd be shocked if she left. This is her dream job. Why would she ever want to go anywhere else? What station is New Wrestling Show going to be in? No one knows, to my knowledge. If they've made a TV deal or landed a TV deal or said yes or in agreement or whatever, it's not been announced, so who knows? Let's see. Ricardo says, will Ronda get her Four Horsewoman fashion soon? Perhaps. We were just talking about that. Jason says, what's up, Jason? How do you see Hogan being used? He keeps posting on his page the old NWO interruptions, act like it's gearing for an NWO turn. Oh, God, Jason. Jason, my friend, I don't know how many times you've asked the NWO question, but there's been a bunch of people before you and probably a bunch of people after you that are going to ask me the same question. It's okay. It's okay. I don't care about the NWO. The NWO, as influential as it was, and as fun as it was in the beginning, was not so fun in the end. And trust me when I tell you, if you did not follow the Monday Night War as it happened, if you're too young for that, you're just now coming up as a fan, what have you, trust me when I tell you, it was not fun in the end. Okay? The NWO was destroyed by WCW, by the talent, by Bischoff, by everyone involved, by circumstances. It was just god awful. It was bloated. It was too big. It was the same shtick every single week. I've said before here on the program, I'm a sucker for the underdog story. I'm a sucker for the heroes winning the day. The heroes never won the day. Ever. Imagine the Baron Corbin angle times 50. every single week for like a year. Sting would show up and beat him up, but no one ever, he was the only one that could get one over on them. NWO destroyed everybody. And after a while, there's no drama in that. When it's 40-on-3, where's the drama in that? And WCW never beat them. Let's get that straight, too. WCW never beat them. The storyline just fizzled. There was never a defining win for WCW where they could say, we have finally destroyed the NWO. It didn't happen. There was never a bow put on it. So listen, don't romanticize the whole NWO thing. I know it looks cool. The photos, the video clips, the Too Sweet. I know it looks cool. It wasn't what you remember. Or it wasn't what you think happened. Okay? Take it as a whole, as a totality of the storyline. It was tough in the end, man. Really tough. That's me talking. Let's see. Andrew, what question, man? Sorry, I've got like 100 different questions coming at me right now. Throw me the question again. Craig says, R-Truth and Carmel went on their vacation yesterday. My prediction was wrong. They put the vacation on the night of the Rumble. That was a good prediction, though. But yeah, they showed up. They interrupted Kathy Kelly's Royal Rumble prediction thing that she was doing. Kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think Ronda's going anywhere. Naman says it was like every single person on the roster was a member of the NWO. I agree with you there. Jason, I hear you, man. Y'all, everyone's saying no more NWO. 1996 NWO was edgy. I'll give you that, but didn't last long. By the way, Eric is currently dancing. Eric is experiencing a dance break. If anyone would like to get up and dance with Eric, please go ahead and dance with Eric, or he will dance by himself. He will essentially live a Billy Idol song. So there you go. Paul says, did we cover Omega? Yes, we did, Paul, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's still contracted with New Japan through January 31st. Will he go to WWE after that? Possibly. I would not be shocked. But the word is he signed with AEW. Take that for what it's worth. Hello, Alma. What's up? Making barbecue hot dogs and fried cabbage. Good God. And we're all going to meet at Alma's house later for dinner. Alma's feeding everybody. Won't that be fun? I'm looking forward to it. Thomas says, is Batista ever come back? We've covered Batista a little bit. He wants to come back. Says he thinks about it every day. But Batista's got a career, man. He's got a new life in Hollywood where he's not getting dropped on his head every 2 minutes. So, if I'm Batista, I've moved on. I don't know. We'll see. He's still in phenomenal shape, of course. It's Batista. Oh, Andrew says, who would you have as a cast for the second season of Legends House? Cute. I don't have a cast for you. I saw your question. I didn't overlook it to make you mad or anything. I just didn't care. I didn't watch season 1 of Legends House. I saw bits and pieces of it. I don't really have a cast for you, man. I don't know are they in talks to do that, or are you just spitballing? I don't know. That's my honest answer. I'm not trying to dodge you or anything. No, Ricardo, no updates on Roman as of now. If there are any, yours truly has not been told. So, Jim, happy birthday. I saw that this morning, my friend. Everybody wish Jim a happy birthday. Jim is only 25 years old today, and Jim, you're welcome for that. So, I don't know how old you are, Jim. New faction to be formed in Raw, AJ, EC3, and who else? Ooh, are you guessing? You're just throwing something around? I don't know, man. I don't know. Heard Vince is considering selling the WCW name. What do you think? Have you heard? I've not heard that, Douglas. He's crazy if he does. Don't do it, Vince. Terrible idea. You don't want someone else buying the name WCW and calling themselves World Championship Wrestling. Don't do it. Let's see. Says, I hope to give you the results of the event here next Sunday. Sweet. We're coming up on an hour, man. I've been running my mouth almost 60 straight minutes, folks. Isn't that something? Yes. So, who else? What else you got for me? Yeah, Andrew, I don't know to your point on if they'll do a second season or not. Mitchell says maybe they are doing the Shane and Miz tag team so Miz can get a push on a title run. That's been the guess for a long time because it was supposed to be Miz going after Daniel. It hasn't happened yet, right? Seems like the logical way to go, right? When Vince sells his company, I don't think Vince is selling his company. He'd be crazy too. I don't know. There's not been anything substantially said or any kind of real talk about him selling the company. I think it'd be a terrible idea. It needs to hang on. It's his company. Craig, everyone see that picture of Jesus Christ? Would you look at the time? And it showed a picture of Jesus looking at the clock. It's funny. I laughed about that for like a good 10 seconds, maybe more. Maybe I've laughed about it since then. You don't know, do you? It's cute. I like it. Regina says Enzo not coming back. I guess Regina, we hope not. Enzo has to go. Okay, yeah. Enzo needs to stay away. Dude's not right. He's touched in the head by the Lord. Do you know what I'm saying? Not good. Not good day for him. Listen, before we start wrapping the show up here, we throw this out there every week, folks. If we are not friends on the Facebook, send me a message in the Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger and say, Tom, please send me a request, and I will be more than happy to send you one. Everyone watching the show today that has sent one has gotten one, and we now are buddies, friends, compadres, amigos, dudes, chums, old pals, old friends, acquaintances, brothers, sisters. That's who we are. So please do so. Why is Tamina in WWE? Jenna says, I've had enough of this crap. Why is she even there? Well, to your point, Jenna, she doesn't talk, she doesn't smile, she doesn't make any faces. Tamina is the Chuck Norris of WWE's women's division. She doesn't make the t-shirt Tamina had, or was it mad, happy, sad, depressed, joyful. It's the same picture. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Roman Reigns doing at the Rumble. He's on the official 2019 poster. Ooh, is he, Craig? I don't know, man. If I'm Roman, would you even want to come back and do anything until you're ready to come back and do something? What if Roman were the surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble and won the match? I'm not saying he is. Can you imagine? Blow the roof off the joint to the point where people go, oh my God, I love him now. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Let's see. Cena's hair. Jesus. Can I just call you Jesus? Because that's more fun. Yeah, people are all up in arms about Cena's hair. It's ridiculous at this point, isn't it? Let's see. Anthony says, I get Omega is good, but why do so many people act like if he doesn't sign with WWE, it's over for him? It's not over for him. Yeah, I agree with you. I like Omega. I don't love Omega, and it's nothing personal. You know, Omega's in the same company as Okada and Tanahashi, and you're going to tell me Omega's the best in the world? Because Yusuke Okada is the best wrestler in the world today. That's it. And I love AJ Styles. I love Seth Rollins. I think you could make a case for Jericho being in the top 5 best in the world today. I agree. Okada's it for me. That's my view. That's how I feel. Let's see. Craig says, will Seth Rollins be Triple H's golden boy again? I don't think so. I think that's an old storyline. You could rehash it with Hunter being the babyface this time, but Seth would never trust him, just as the Shield didn't trust Seth initially. So I saw the thing Jim was seen in earnest. I laughed a little too hard at that. It's really funny. Man, we've been talking a while. I'm out of breath. Brandon says, is Punk coming back ever? Brandon, my guess is that no, he's never coming back ever. I'm just saying. Will Cena win his 17th championship? Douglas, I would hope that out of respect for Ric Flair, John Cena would not want to win the title for the 17th time. I can tell you that Flair would be okay with it because he loves John. But I don't think, as an old school NWA fan, I don't want to see it. As an old school Ric Flair fan, I want the 16 to stand. I do. I don't want anybody to beat that. Hunter's 2 wins away from matching him, for Christ's sake. Excuse me, I'm just saying. I don't want to see it happen. It's how I feel. Undertaker's undefeated streak didn't have to end. It did. They did it. They ruined it. It's whatever. Let me have something to hang on to here, folks. See, I mean, Flair's Babe Ruth. Don't mess that up. Come on. Let's see. Rebecca says Carmella being pushed. Don't know if she can do it alone because she always has Ellsworth. Oh, that's a good point. But they're not heels now, Rebecca. So Truth wouldn't help her cheat to win, right? So say like Cena Rick stay tied. I agree with that totally. Punk to AEW. That's got to be a lock. Think of his anti-Vince Triple H promo. Yeah, but you know what, Paul? That's cheap heat. And that's, you know what that does? You know what that does, Paul, to your point? And I'm so glad you brought this up, Paul. You win the second no prize program, my man. Check your mailbox. It'll be there soon, within 2 to 9 weeks. Trust me. By going on AEW's programming and talking about Vince and WWE, you're giving that company free promotion. You're giving them free publicity. Who wants to do that? You don't do that. That's a terrible idea, right? I wouldn't do that. You're there to do something different. We've already heard the upstart companies trying to say that they're going to challenge WWE and this, that, and the other, and talk about Vince on the air and all other crap. We've already seen that. That's not new. That's not fresh. That's not different. AEW says they want to be new and fresh and different. Then do it differently. That's not something AEW should do, my opinion. Lars Sullivan to eliminate Cena. Sure. John puts over the big guys. Not all the time, but he's putting over people a lot more now than he did before. Let's see. Are we Steven says, but don't you have to rail against the establishment? Punk shoots could be interesting. Punk's railing against the establishment by not being in the establishment right now, though, to your point. And, could Punk cut a promo without ever mentioning Vince McMahon's name? Of course he could. I just don't think it's necessary. Would I love to see Punk there? Don't misunderstand me. Your boy's a CM Punk fan. I am. I am. I was then. I am now. I will be tomorrow. I can't help that. Of course I want to see him there. If you're asking me if I think it's a good idea, I don't know. It depends on what he wants for him and his wife. I mean, if it's something good for him, then do it. Him and AJ together in AEW. God, geez, now you're talking me into it. Thanks, man. But no, in all seriousness, I don't know what's good for him. Would I love to see it happen? If you're asking me if it's a good idea, I'm mixed. If you're asking me what I'd love to see happen, of course I would. Absolutely. Let's see. Steven says UFC isn't good for him. A lot of people believe that, that's for sure. Oh, Craig says, let's do another hour. No, Craig, let's not, okay? My throat hurts, Craig. I got this water, but, I'm not drinking it on the air because bad things happen when I swallow too much water and too much air at the same time, and I don't want to be rude on the mic. It's terrible. Yeah, we're only 1 hour show here, folks. Sorry. Robbie says, read the article that said, yes, the Elite run AEW, but they need some major corporate running it. Oh, they're going to have corporate. They've got Tony Khan's boys behind the scenes. They need TV guys. They need pro wrestling guys behind the scenes, as we said, but they need the bankrollers. Tony Khan's the bankroller. They've got, I'm not saying they got a blank checkbook. They're not going to make money the first year. You guys know that, right? No chance. They're going to probably putting more money in this thing they're going to make within maybe the first 2 years. But for any company, I don't care who owns it. Ted Turner was no exception, folks, and he's a freaking billionaire, okay? Just like the Khans are. But in order to keep a company afloat, it has to turn a profit. At some point, you got to start making money. So AEW will have to start being profitable. And if it's not, it will not last, period. So it starts with good business decisions, good investments, bringing in key people at the right moments, making the right TV deal for the right amount of money, the right amount of exposure, running the right amount of shows per year in the right venues, getting the best price possible, the best exposure possible. They're talking about paying their guys' health insurance. Hui, you know how expensive a proposition that is? It's crazy, right? We'll see. I hope they can accomplish all that and much more. Ricardo says AEW doesn't need to worry about WWE. I agree with that, 100%. So, Carlos says, why is it so hard for new talent to be utilized properly by WWE? Carlos had to ask another $1 billion question here, folks. Honestly, I believe that there's a various number of reasons for that. Either someone WWE Creative doesn't get it, Vince doesn't get it, the timing's wrong, something just doesn't mesh, it doesn't click. It could be any number of things. Sometimes it's just the wrong time to bring a guy or gal up. That's just how it is. Let's see. Do I think AJ Lee will return with Punk? Yes, in AEW or somewhere like that, but not in WWE, my opinion. Let's see. How would that? Oh, okay, so you guys are talking. Cool. Brandon says, I want Kane back. Brandon's the only one that wants Kane back. Mayor Kane, as it were. The mayor of, you hear my dog coming in the room. I left the door open to the office, so there he is, hanging out. He's probably going to get on the couch behind me. And there he is. You see him? There's my dog with his tail. He loves the futon. If you're just listening to the show and not watching the show, you can appreciate the fact that my dog loves my futon. Hear that? Yep. There's the tail. Smacks you in the head. Well, now he's going to come over here so I can pet him. There he is. Yep. There we go. Hello, Steve in Scotland. I'm going to disrespect your country by butchering your language. I'm just playing. I'm not going to do it. Thank you, my man. Thank you for watching the show. Much respect. Thank you. Let's see. Kane said, Paul said, Kane back, time to end the show. Paul's out. Paul's like, screw it, I'm out of here. Will Bray Wyatt be in the Rumble? Hey, I'd buy that. Sure, why not? Who will be seen as WrestleMania opponent? Why not be Lars Sullivan? I don't know. Lars' debut match, he squashes the legend. Think John would care about that? John wouldn't care. Well, maybe not debut match, but big WrestleMania debut match, right? John won't care. Goldust and AEW. Supposedly, Dustin hates the color gold. It's like a revelation on his Twitter this week or some nonsense. I don't know. You'd have to believe that he and Cody will hook back up at some time to do something. We'll see. So, Keith, he's a mix. He's a mutt. I don't know. He's part lab and part retriever, I think. Something like that. Yeah, welcome to the show. Wicket. Everyone says welcome to the show. By the way, the dog's name is Wicket because when my kid was a lot smaller, he was behind in his speech. Had to give him speech therapy, right? Which did wonders, by the way. But I said he sounded like an Ewok. So when it come time to get a family pet, and we got the dog, I said, we're going to name the dog. I said, Wicket. There you go. I'm a Star Wars nerd. Can you tell? Let's see. Eric, thanks for hanging out, bro. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. All right, so I think we're going to take this home. Our viewership has dwindled over the past few moments, my friends. Is Owens returning to the Rumble? I'll buy that for $1. Why not? How about Owens wins the Rumble? Screw it. Just do it. Do it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'd like to see him come back. They got room for him for sure. Let's see. There's the obligatory Dean Ambrose comment. Nice. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Okay, folks. I don't think I've got anything else for you. I want to thank everyone. Thank you, Keith. Thanks for hanging out, bro. Thank you, Steven. Much love, man. Appreciate that. So, again, folks, if we're not friends on the Facebook, send me a message in Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger. Tell me, hey, Tom, here I am. I will send your friend request. I promise. I got to thank you folks for hanging out. Sorry about the cancellation and then last minute back on again thing. But listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you got any friends on Facebook or anywhere else online that's not currently watching the show, please tell them that, hey, watch Tom Clark's main event on Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Miss Lopez. Go to iTunes, subscribe to the show, leave me a review if you will. Be sure to check out Boink Studios. Remember, I'm on ProWrestling.com, WrestlingRumors.net, of course. Thank you much, Heidi. The Chairshot.com, and also The Floor Seat, the Sports Daily. That's all I got for you, man. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to split. Everybody have a good week. Much love. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.